Warning. The following video contains spoilers for the inner workings and behind-the-scenes processes of the Project 863 series. If you do not wish to be spoiled on future or past videos, nor have the spell of the series broken, you have been warned. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Behind 863. This is the podcast where we go behind 863. It's the Behind 863 podcast. Wow. Eloquently said, Tanner.
Wow.
Yes.
First try,
So
nailed it.
eloquently said.
Sunk it.
I have a hair on my face, but I can't find it, and it's driving me insane.
You have a lot of hairs on your face.
No, but you know when you have like one hair that's like stuck
the
somewhere
worst feeling.
and you can't get it off?
Stop moving your face on me.
What'd you say?
Oh, you got it.
Did I really?
No.
It looked like it
Nice.
from my angle, at least.
Ha ha!
ha.
Victory! Starting this podcast off with a victory.
Yeah. And we're going to have plenty more coming in this podcast. Today, you're joined by myself. I'm Tanner. You're joined by Samantha.
Hi, I'm Samantha.
You're joined by Woodland.
Hi, I'm Woodland.
You're joined by Bailey.
Hi, I'm Bailey.
So yeah, a little recap. Last week we filmed a video, right? We filmed like 2 videos, put into one video, ended up scrapping that video.
Yes, I forgot about
Where did
that.
it get uploaded? You guys saw it over on the Behind 863 section of Project 863
Woohoo!
Plus. That's where we're uploading it, and it's going to be going live for us tomorrow. But you guys have already seen it.
Is it
now.
really?
Yeah,
It'll just be non-canon.
non-canon. So I'm gonna-
Non-canonical.
Is it just the first cut that Quinn did, or did he? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
Interesting.
so I'm going to try and remember at the end of this podcast, I'll try and do like a really clean voiceover. Like, so it'll be like, this story is not canon or something. I don't know. Maybe I
Yeah.
can film like a one bit to it. So it's like, hey, we can put this in front of the video so people know it's not canon.
Yeah. Like, do not think about what happened in this video when you're thinking about theories
Yeah,
for
right.
Project 863
Yeah.
and the
Exactly.
Matthias channel.
I've been rattling my brain of like, how am I going to film that? Because I know how I would do it at home, but I also don't want to like download the video, me film something at home, and then re-export it the day it's going to go live. Like my Premiere's been acting up in Vegas. I'm like, I might just do it here. This makes a lot more sense. Nice mic. I can look to that. It'll be awesome.
Just like lay it over like every 5 minutes. This is not canon.
Yo,
Like screeners. Have you
Yes.
ever watched an Oscar screener?
Yeah.
How they're always like, Academy Award.
Yeah,
or
so
like
that
you
you
like
can't
see it
repost
pop
it.
up on the screen.
Yeah.
And it's like, for your consideration.
well, if
Yeah.
you pay someone to do your mixes too, something they'll do. Like I found out this through Haley, where she's doing she had to get like a dance mix, and the DJ. So just so that when he sends you a version of it, you don't just take it and run. Every 5 to 10 seconds, he goes DJ Academic. Like, every single 5 to 10 seconds, because they're like,
Yeah.
you're not ripping anything.
Yeah,
from it.
that's
and
how
so
it
it's
is.
so
Protect
fascinating.
your creative work, guys. Protect it.
Integrity, ingenuity, I don't know what else, 2 words.
Excellence. Versatility.
Oh,
Vibes.
gosh.
Savagery.
I just love how this video that isn't canon is just centered around Tanner wanting to kill Matt. Like, what a random.
Such
I
a
love
random-
that's the premise.
Yeah, just so you guys know, we talked about it in the last podcast. If you want to hear it more in detail, please go there. But yeah, that video was just didn't fit the Project 863 vibe. It was too real, I would say. You know, like me wanting to kill Matt.
Yeah, sure. It was too believable.
Yeah.
Like it was and you know,
Too
we just
real.
knew we couldn't go there
We didn't
because
want
then people would be concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
jinx.
We realized we didn't have to write a script for it. It was just nature.
Yeah.
We realized Tanner actually did want to kill Matt. And
it was
so
like,
we
oh,
had to back.
yeah.
No,
We-
actual evidence.
We're like,
This was his real search history.
So yeah, I stumbled upon some weird stuff. I will say, guys, looking at 2 people who are part of all the behind the scenes meetings that Bailey and I are not a part of.
That's me and Woods.
I want to know about the writing on the walls. Okay. Next week, we better get back into it because I'm
yeah,
antsy.
I don't even know what's going on. with the
Antsy?
writing on the walls.
Antsy.
Yeah,
He's
so-
just saying that.
I
He's
want
lying.
to see. I want to know how it's there. I want to know what it means. Should I stop trying to reorder the letters on the walls to see if it makes new sentences?
Okay, something I saw today. Someone flipped the look closer, and
Yes, I saw
look
that.
is Jason. Like it spells
Look
Jason.
spells Jason.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Like someone
Look
on
spells
Spellbound.
Jason.
So if
Yeah,
you
like the
flip
name
if you
Jason.
flip look like the way that it was written, and I think you flip it upside down, like with however the ghost wrote it or however it appeared through the walls, it literally spells it's JASON. Like it just looks like the word Jason.
I love how like That's
You
such
gotta
like
flip
a
it right. You gotta flip it
yeah.
left.
I love how like the first thing we do is take what we got and let's see it in every sort of position. All right?
Yeah.
I want you to put it on a hat. I want you to put it upside down.
If you crop out each singular letter
Yeah.
and then reorganize them and put other letters, you can make something out of it.
Let's
I
use
mean, I
select
just
and let's
need
get
to
rid of all the
know.
reds and then let's see what that looks like. It's like
People
so
are really
fascinating.
creative with it, but now I'm like, is it
I
Jason?
know every theory I see on Spellbound now, I'm like, is that it?
Yeah.
Like, is it Tom Riddle's diary?
Woods
Is it
and I will
being
not
written
speak.
from somewhere
Well,
else?
We will
that-
not
that's-
speak
I know,
on this.
That's the thing about it. Is I was just telling Sam.
Woods is like, I don't know.
I have to make
Yeah.
sure I clarify that because Woods and I have a tendency to spoil things. So.
Yeah, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I've definitely been in the writer's room helping write, but also, like, it's so much that I just feel like
I would say
I don't know how to keep track of.
I would say that we're more active in the brainstorming meetings than the writing meetings. So like
Yeah.
we're more like Matt and Chanel definitely do the majority of the lifting from the writing perspective. So that's where it kind of helps that we're both in the dark in that sense.
Yeah, we're like
too.
mixing the cement. They're like cementing.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. We're
really?
like, yeah, we kind of come up with foundations and then they kind of run with it. But that's kind of changing now. Like one thing I might do one of these weeks in season 3 is record like a writer's meeting. Maybe just like set up a camera so that we can post it at the end of like season 3. You know, maybe season 4 I can upload it to Spellbound Plus and you guys can see like this is what we use. This is why we're using it. This is how we're using it. Right now we just changed a lot of our writing. So like not the writing itself, but how we're writing things.
Yeah, I saw that. Matt kind of posted something about it, but is it just the way that you're like, is it the software or
It's a tool he created. It's more so like to try and streamline it a bit so that we have everything accounted for, but also everything is accounted for across the season. So like we don't, because like something that's common, I don't think it's happened too much with our stories, but for instance, in other like I'll reference other stories to even avoid any possible spoilers I could give away. Is like if you were to like look at Marvel, you know what I'm saying? Marvel probably wouldn't do this because they're so good at what they do, but like they wouldn't like introduce a character in the beginning for no reason, and then just like and have something pivotal happen to that character, and then like they get to the end of the movie and then there's no resolution. You know?
Definitely.
So like a lot of times when you're writing like amateur stories, like we're kind of like we're new to this, you know. You kind of like you set up a lot of these different things because we're focused on making it exciting and fantastic and like grabbing people, but then it just never comes back.
Never
you know?
resolution.
Yeah.
I think an example of that would be like season 2. Actually, I can do this without spoiling it. Was when we like we had to have the Geiger counter. Like we had a Geiger counter in a thumbnail is what it was, remember? And it was the thumbnail with the dome, like the pink
Yeah,
dome.
the
And,
radioactive spell.
yeah, we had a Geiger counter in there, but in the story we hadn't had the Geiger counter back yet.
Oh, because you're still
Yeah.
with John Doe, yeah.
And the viewers recognized it. Actually, our mods recognized it. And they're like, wait a second, that wouldn't make sense. And so we actually were like, oh, snap, we have to we forgot to include that pivotal moment back in, you know? Little stuff like that. That's what this tool does, as well as like making sure that there's a basis.
Is this causality? Or is this something else? Okay.
This,
No, Matt made it.
Well, yeah, I think it's based
think
upon
it's-
causality,
yeah,
though.
gotcha,
And,
okay.
and it allows for different variables. So, like, yeah, it creates the base and the structure, and then, like, through that base, there's for each like pinch point or like darkest hour. There's like 3 other pitches that could possibly fit in, or if we need something changed down on the line, like change down over here, then we can like we could fix that through like one of these pitches. And so like it gives a variety of like, it's almost kind of like I imagined it in the sense of like those Goosebumps, like choose your own story. Like you could read a chapter and then the next chapter it's like, okay, if you want to like, if you want to take action, go this way, or go to
interesting.
page, 80.
Yeah,
that's fun.
If you want to run, go to page 70. And so that's what the thing he made is
So
kind of
yeah,
like.
and it's interesting in that sense too, because sorry, I just burped into a really sensitive mic. That's probably gross. It's interesting in that. Thank you for that backup.
You're welcome.
That's why I like
Now you're
Samantha.
not alone.
That's why I like having her here. You know what I'm saying? Got the back.
I can't burp on command, unfortunately. Otherwise,
Boo.
Yeah.
Somebody
Sucks
boo
for
this
you.
woman. But like something that's interesting about it is we are kind of writing 3 different like base stories at the same time, since we're doing 3 different pitches for each of them. But like it gives us a lot of flexibility, and I don't want you guys to think we're like writing it necessarily on the fly. It's more so like we're writing like some of it as it goes, but Matt really does have a vision for how like every season kind of ends and like what every season like reveals, you know?
Okay.
And so that's actually like that's flexible. that's flexible depending on how audience takes it naturally, you know.
Sure.
But
It's like there's a destiny. It's just how are you?
kinda like,
are we
how are
gonna
we getting
get
there?
there?
Right,
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, because Chanel told me that you guys have the ending for this season, but nothing like really is set in stone leading up to that, which I think is really interesting.
So, question is Wes's filing cabinet really pivotal or something? Or
we can't answer any questions. Thank you for bringing
yeah.
it to the table.
No, sure.
I don't know if it
I
actually is.
just wanted to bring it up, you know,
Because
because
we
as a
haven't touched
fan
it.
now, we haven't touched it.
it is
And
really
so
weird.
many people, because they're seeing the phrase "look closer" everywhere for like the theme of this season, they're like, "It's the filing cabinet. It has to be the filing
Or
cabinet."
all of the evidence we haven't looked at.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they're like, it has to be like that's what we need to look at. And now that I have this new perspective, I'm like, what's in the filing cabinet?
Yeah.
I think it kind of works as that. Woods and I
Probably
don't know.
nothing.
Woods and I are also in the dark with a lot of things too. So we're in a
Yeah.
lot of these meetings, but
Sure.
It's the thing of like.
so deep that we're just like, what's happening?
well, I
here?
mean, yeah. When we're brainstorming, it's a whole bunch of different things that like could go that route. Whereas
Yeah.
like Chanel and Matt are like, okay, this is happening. This is happening.
That
this
is
happening.
true. Because even like in the brainstorming days of the past where Bailey and I were there, the way it worked very much was like we kind of all just brainstorm and throw out ideas for an hour, and then Matt and Chanel go into a room and decide like where it's actually going and like what's happening. And I feel like that is kind of why Tanner and Woods might know what ideas are on the table, but not necessarily
They could be
which
switched
ones
up
are
at
getting
any
picked
point.
or what order they're happening in.
Yeah, I think we know we have a very good basis for like what videos are generally coming, like the marketing, like what
Yeah.
the idea is. But I don't have a clue how a lot of the pieces are going to be put together inside the video, you know, or like how that's going to happen or any of that jazz. Honestly, Woods doesn't either. He kind of finds out when we decide it's official, and then he starts like developing what he needs to develop with it.
Yeah, and like what props are needed.
And even then, like I've been working on something that I'm not even sure like
What it's doing.
what it's doing or if
Interesting.
we're gonna be
I'm so
filming that this
excited
week or not.
Well,
hear
okay, so like
what
that's the weird thing is like I was telling Sam that it's so I have no idea when you guys are lying to us anymore because like we supposedly aren't filming this week. I'm still like part of me thinks
Bailey
we
still
are.
doesn't believe that we're not filming this
I'm
week.
like Quinn is secretly flying out here and something's gonna happen that we
That's such
aren't
a good
expecting.
idea though for future
Yeah,
stuff.
that
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, interesting! As if it's not happening tomorrow.
Bailey, I told Quinn to not come out.
He has a secret flight.
Your skepticism says a lot, but
yeah.
I'm also leaving tonight, so I
Do we have
Or
new,
are you?
new camera guy?
That's a good question.
Do we have new
Yeah,
camera
Noah.
guy?
Yeah,
Noah, yeah.
Noah had a previous job thing this week, so Quinn was going to come back out to help film this week.
lucky
Oh
him.
yeah, that's a fun behind the scenes update. We have a new camera dude.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
my friend Noah.
Yeah.
from school, but well, I know him from school, but he's my friend after school because I'm not in school anymore.
Crazy, he's your friend because I hardly know her.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
So sorry.
I'm so sorry about him.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. I just say stupid things out loud when I was thinking them in my head. I was like, maybe that'll hit. It doesn't hit. It's fine.
You tried.
I am worried that people are gonna be like, "Where is Quinn?"
Well, yeah. So just to be clear, Quinn still works with us. He's still Matt's creative assistant. He just lives in Arizona now, and you know, camera op was like a
Far
big
for
physical
him.
duty, and also like for him to like fly out here like
Yeah.
every week just to do it. He was like,
I thought it was so funny
No.
that you said a big physical. Like it
I
kind of made it sound
know.
like you thought Quinn was weak.
"Oh no,
It's like,
oh no,
you know,
that's-
camera op is a big
Sure.
physical duty. I was like, yeah,
No.
Quinn isn't ripped out of his mind.
yeah." Like he's not the jackest, like like
The chattiest Chad ever.
He's the jackest
Jackiest.
jack
He's
of
the
the
He's so
trade.
Jack
jacked. He's the jackest.
But no, it's just like like flying out every week. It's just a lot. I don't want to like speak for him.
people love
but-
Quinn in the videos though, so and I have a feeling
We all
that
love Quinn
people
in
are
the
still gonna call Noah Quinn and stuff. And yeah.
No, that's because even when I started camera opping again, like people didn't know it was me for like 3 weeks.
Oh, so
and
people were calling
so
you
like people
CJ
still
and stuff,
thought,
yeah.
you know, yeah. And I was just like, oh, no.
Well, that
That
happened.
was me, and it happened. I remember there were 2 specific videos where it happened when the LAPD case exploded. Everyone was like, mad props to the cameraman for like going through this and getting all these great shots like during this high stressful situation. And I was sitting there reading them like, that was me. It was me, and they don't
Camera
know.
woman.
That was me, and they don't
Samantha.
know. But it is just funny. Like there's always that transitional period.
That always
Yeah.
happens too. That happened with CJ. Like nobody knew CJ was even gone for like months. I feel like.
Oh
That's what I
yeah,
was like-
people still ask
Yeah,
about.
Sam was doing camera back then too, and everyone's like, "Wow, CJ's really been killing it for the last month." And I was like, "Yeah, you don't really know as much as you think you do. CJ hasn't been here, but I find that so fascinating."
That's what I just
You
said.
should reiterating what she said.
That's the story I just told.
I thought you said Quinn.
No, that was early. No, it's totally fine. It all made sense. It was just funny. It's just
Okay,
funny.
sorry everybody. Apparently, sometimes it happens.
No,
I hardly know. Am I right? Oh gosh, darn
Oh,
it.
jeez.
Oh, to be alive again would be so. Anyways, so yeah. Also this week, yeah. To touch on not shooting, we're not shooting this week officially. I can tell you that out of
Okay,
confidence because
sure.
I will.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have to be here for shoots, but I will not be here
Yeah, okay.
because there are no shoots, right? So and that kind of came out of nowhere. So like. Does that get you guys more anticipative towards next week, or does it make you like a little curious, like what's going on, like
It
what's
makes-
in the brewing?
I don't know, honestly. I think because of like I'm very intrigued by like the talk of like a new writing structural change. Honestly, it made me a little nervous just because last
You don't know what the difference is, yeah.
Well, honestly, no. More from the standpoint of like last week's shoot didn't like go well necessarily,
Exactly, yeah.
and so then to have like the next week just be like, we're not shooting this week. I was kind of like, what's
I can clarify this
going on?
better
Yeah,
as well. I think this will
yeah.
help for the audience too. So Matt is, and I agree with him. Matt's pretty confident that we found like the formula
Okay.
for writing videos, like for what for like the grand-ish scale for like a season, how it should be
Sure.
written out, but also like how even on like a smaller scale, how a video should kind of be written towards it. So he like I agree with him too. Like looking at comments, like even just the way it's writing, it feels a lot more natural, feels a lot more adaptive, makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
So it's not the actual writing structure or it's not the actual writing that's changing or anything like that. It's more so just the making sure that we have all of our chickens counted for. You know what I'm saying? Like
Sure.
making sure that making sure we don't lose anything in the cracks, which is something
Yeah.
we have notoriously done because when you go by beats, sometimes you miss beats, sometimes like you don't account for what could go within the beats, you don't account for
Don't
reactions.
remember why you had that beat.
Yeah, like last
Yeah.
week was a perfect example. That's why I think he spent the last week making this. Wasn't because like
Got
the
it.
idea itself was bad or anything like that. Like I don't think it was that. Even he doesn't think it was that from what I've talked to him about. Like I still think the idea is good.
The idea is, yeah.
The idea is like interesting, you know. I think it's more so like when you don't have everything accounted for, you don't know what the reactions are going to be, you don't know what the evidence is like. We don't know how everything is going to go together when it needs to. It can lead to things just going completely awry. You know what I'm saying? And so he realized like there wasn't really like an obvious structure to it. There was things that weren't like clearly presented from his angle, like to like make things make sense. Like so that's where it was, is like the idea, the writing of it wasn't bad. It was just like the inclusion of like the details. And so that's what the new writing kind of leans into.
Gotcha.
And so yeah, it was that. But I think the actual like formula is working well. I like it a lot. I think season 3's videos have been a lot more like felt a lot more like traditional YouTube, like discovery mystery kind of vibe, you know?
Yeah, I really like the way that it's been going so far. It does feel very, traditional YouTube and like season 0 almost, but like more naturally, because I know that we were kind of going for that last season too, but now it feels like we're falling into it a little bit easier now.
Yeah.
I'm just more bummed because we don't get to shoot this week, and I
know.
like shooting.
We
And
like
also,
filming.
we were supposed to do Halloween costumes this week, and now we're not doing Halloween costumes.
So that's something, Bailey and I had a plan. Well, I'm going to say it was Bailey's plan first. I just jumped onto it. But of getting the crew dressed up as the Mystery Gang from Scooby-Doo and implementing that into a video. There's a chance, slight chance, it could still happen next week. But it depends on how we're going to handle video releases, considering we're going to miss an upload because we're not
Right.
filming this week. So
Yeah.
we might dress up next week. We might not. Stay tuned. But
we
regardless, we will take a picture in costume for the community to celebrate Spoopy time.
Good.
Happy
That'll be fun.
Halloween.
I've always wanted
Yeah.
to role play as Scooby Doo. Honestly,
God.
not like that. You can RP in different sections of the worlds, man. Have you ever heard
I
of
know.
sections?
Sections.
Sections.
I just thought that was funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was funny. But yeah, I've always I like I feel like I have a Scooby Doo personality.
You do? Yeah.
Good job.
Tanner always says he's a golden retriever. So what kind of dog is
Great
Scooby Doo?
Dane.
Okay.
He's a Great Dane.
Yeah, look at him.
on,
Or like a
man.
Yeah, he
mastiff.
sounded so
He's
disappointed.
He's giant.
Yeah.
Is he a mastiff?
He's
Or is
big,
He
but
is
I would think he's
large.
more like
He's a Great Dane, bruh.
not a
think
Great
he-
Dane.
I've never seen a brown
I was
Great
thinking,
Dane.
not,
I don't
not a
think.
Rottweiler. What are those?
Have you ever seen a dog colored like Scooby Doo?
I guess
Yeah.
not. Like with the
I
brown
have.
spot or the black spots on his back.
Not the black spots.
Yeah,
good
that's
point. But I
not
have
really-
seen that colored brown.
Great Dane.
The
Interesting.
heck?
Yep.
And there's
Yeah.
such good pictures of like Shaggy holding
Like that's a Great
Scooby,
Dane.
and
Show
I'm
a
like,
picture
you
of a
guys
Great Dane,
have to
Colette.
do that.
Oh,
yeah, that does look like him.
Doo right there.
That's
there he is.
That's
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo right there.
Oh man.
You don't want to be Scrappy Doo Woods?
No, dude,
Oh
I'm
my-
Shaggy.
You should be. Yeah, kind of.
You look like Shaggy though.
Yeah, but you act like Shaggy. That's the difference.
Yeah.
I don't constantly eat. I'm not like a fearful type
Are you-
person.
No,
I
he's
guess
not
Shaggy
fearful.
does
He
it.
conquers it with his best
Well,
friend.
no,
Yeah.
but
Fear.
the way he
Oh. Fear
runs
with
is
his
really
friends.
weird.
Well, I think
Yeah.
it's perfect because you two like
Did you just hear that? That was
Zoinks.
That was perfect. Now give me your Scooby Doo.
wow, that was good.
Not as good as your
That's
Zoinks,
pretty
but
decent.
good. Had a lot of passion.
Yeah.
Zoinks.
That's really good.
Yo, I live for that. We're gonna be
That's
on
amazing.
fire. dude.
Yeah,
That's so
I just
good.
love that it's that you're Scooby and you're Shaggy because it's like also the dynamic between the two of
Yeah,
you. It's like
it
it's
makes sense.
perfect.
Yeah, he's
That's
gonna
good.
feed me Scooby snacks. We're gonna hang out. It's
We
gonna
do
be
have Scooby snacks too.
Oh, we do.
Wait, we do have Scooby snacks. Wait, are they like the dog version or like actual?
No,
human
they're
food?
they're
actually
like-
they're
Yeah,
like
we-
graham crackers. Or
Yeah.
something.
Yo, y'all are messed up. Y'all are putting me in a dog costume, feeding me crackers. Dance, monkey, dance.
So
You
you're gonna be
agreed to
dog.
it.
Yeah, fair. I'm not saying I didn't like it. I'm just saying you guys are messed up.
Yeah. I thought you've always wanted to do this, didn't you? Just
Like
say?
I said, I didn't say I didn't like it. I just said you guys are a little messed up. You know.
Well, I gotta say,
Yeah,
I
but-
gave Tanner the choice between a casual Scooby Doo outfit and like a full blown headpiece Scooby Doo outfit, and he went for that one. So.
Yeah, for the one. Well, if you're gonna do something, commit is the way I
Yeah.
kind of
Yes.
go towards it. If you're gonna do something half-hearted, just don't do it. If I'm gonna put on little dog ears, it's like, all right, like, what's this guy's problem? You know, this guy had a rough day or something. Like he's a little insecure
Yeah,
about being a
a
human.
rough
Like
day.
I don't understand.
I'm glad you're fully participating with your
Yeah.
giant
I try
costume.
to. I try to fully participate. If that's how I am. I'm an all-in kind of guy.
All
Once
in.
I'm in, I'm all in. Push the chips.
Do you have a Halloween costume besides Scooby Doo?
No, I don't really dress up for Halloween.
Really?
usually. Yeah. Not that I have anything against it. It's
Sure.
just
That's a lot of effort.
it's like
It is.
it's more like like what do I do? I feel like I would do like a couple's costume,
I was
but I
gonna say
don't
you
want
should
to
do something
plan it.
Haley.
Like, I don't really have like what would what do I watch? What media do I consume that I would want to have a couple's costume up? Like Breaking Bad, you know? Like am I gonna be a bald guy and Haley's gonna be Jesse? Like that's
Yeah,
kinda weird.
That's great.
We're all
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you have to kiss that person later that night, and you're like, well, you look like a dude. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
And
I mean-
I'm looking
Wait. Oh,
like
oh.
Walter White. You know, it's like you want to do something kind of sexy. We did like the Batman thing, and that was fun. you
That
know?
was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe like I can't think of anything.
Stewie Griffin or something.
Stewie Griffin was.
Stewie Griffin.
She's Meg.
still weird.
Sorry, I was getting off track.
Woods, have you decided what you're being for Halloween?
No, I've not.
Wow, we told him
We said Captain Jack Sparrow. Why not?
I think
You
it's so
would be a
good. It's
Just
so
get
good.
trashed carrying a bottle of rum.
Dude,
Ugh.
Yeah.
do you need someone to find you the costume pieces? Because at this point, I'll make it happen.
I don't know.
Yeah, because then you can just get drunk and it's in character.
Exactly.
I could just get drunk and it's in character.
You just stumble around like this, and congratulations, you're Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah. You don't even
All
have to
right.
dress
Well,
up.
there's I mean, okay, so
There's
I
a
had to
reason.
like host like a child's party. It was like a pirate themed party.
Okay.
And so I was like one of the people like watching the kids
Okay.
like doing the scavenger hunts. And like these kids were brutal. And like they weren't like playing along. I also wasn't like too piratey. I was kind of like half
When was this?
assing it. This was like years ago,
Okay.
but
This was last
Yeah,
weekend.
the kids were just
What?
brutal, dude. They were like, "You're not a
Aw.
pirate," and I was like,
I'm so angry.
Now, when I did princess parties, I had an
did princess
experience.
parties?
What is a princess party?
Is that a surprise?
I guess
baby?
not.
Kids party.
Yeah, I did princess parties. Like, no, Sam's throwing these at her house. Like,
No, it was when I was in Tennessee. I was a princess, and I worked for a company where people would like hire princesses to come to like their kids' birthday parties.
What princesses were you?
Cinderella, but the 2015 version with like the big butterfly dress.
imagine ordering that. I'll take Cinderella, but the
2015
2015 version.
2015
people
edition.
did. And Snow White, Cinderella, Snow White, and Elsa.
Oh,
When I was Elsa, it was the hardest because people like
Who's
these
Elsa again?
kids.
the snow one.
Frozen,
From Frozen, yeah.
blonde, blue dress,
Gotcha.
ice magic.
Gotcha.
The ice magic became a big problem because I would
Oh,
have
no.
all of these children come up to me and go like, "Where are your powers? Make snow. Do it."
Make snow.
And I'd be like,
snow.
like,
Make some snow.
it's too warm outside. It would melt instantly, or I'm too far away from Arendelle, or
That's when
blah,
I was-
blah, blah, blah,
That's a
blah,
good
blah.
excuse, yeah.
But I had a brother, not my brother, but I had the brother of the birthday girl. We were sitting down and like doing crafts, and he sits down next to me and he goes, "I know you're not Elsa." And I was just like, "That's not a polite thing to accuse a queen of impersonation." And he was just like, "I can see your wig."
Ooh,
This reminds
he's
me
gonna
of
snatch
Elle.
it.
And I just went, "Shh." And then just like kept, because it was one of those days where like there were so many troublesome kids at this party where I was just about to be like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." Like I don't care that you don't think that I'm literal Elsa. But so that's why you don't want to be a pirate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have PTSD from that?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
I just can't
Also,
help.
it's a lot. It's a lot to put on. There's
No,
makeup.
dude, it's like 4, 5, 6 pieces max.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give it more thought. I'll give it
Okay.
more thought. I haven't given it
I can
any
make you a Pinterest board.
thought. I would not. It's okay. it's all
It's
right.
okay.
Pinterest boys like, then I have to download Pinterest. No, it's the whole thing.
Okay, Tanner.
Sorry.
Yeah, what's up? What do you want to talk about?
Yeah,
We're talking
sorry.
about Halloween.
No, this is all great
fine?
news. I loved. I was gonna say, yeah. You should have said, "I don't make snow. I make snow yellow," and that would
Oh,
have been the
God.
ultimate. Gotcha, kid. He's
What
like,
are we
"Oh, it goes from
Oh, Elsa. Okay,
Yeah,
I was.
yeah.
I was hanging out of that. No. I have some things on the docket that I wanted to
Okay.
kind of like touch over.
Let's chat.
Let me see if I can find it in my phone.
Docket.
I hate the way Apple does this stuff now. Oh, that's nice. So yeah, whenever Matt gets back on the podcast next, I'm gonna have him talk over his
Yeah.
entire thing that he posted on Spellbound Plus.
Oh yes, quite.
Yeah, so I was going through and I was like, I feel like a good
yeah.
thing that
The
we
announcement that everyone got
Like
mad about.
big announcement of changing tiers and season 3 updates basically.
Yeah. I kind of want to respond to a couple of like the comments really quick. Well, I kind of want to do that. I want to show off some fan art that I thought was super sick. And then kind of go around that realm. Because I feel like there were some people that were like just flat out, like going crazy,
Yeah,
Yeah,
And-
there
are you
was
going to read
just
those?
No, I would never. It's like you don't point out the outliers. Like
Yeah.
that's just
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
crazy, right?
Yeah.
I think there's some people that had very like appropriate responses too.
Yeah.
That people are like, yeah, like speaking maturely, but it's just tough. Like one, I'm gonna kind of summarize. I'm not gonna go through the entire thing. Billette, I have a screenshot of the majority of it if you want to see it. It's on Reddit. Where it was like someone was mentioning communication, and I found it like to be interesting. They're like, "Hey, I feel like this wasn't communicated generally, very like thoroughly." Like I feel like I had no way of finding out about this.
Okay.
But it was interesting. They kind of go through and they talk about how, but they didn't really have any way to find out about it. But they don't look at Spellbound Plus. They don't go on Reddit. So like they found out through like the Subject 4 podcast, which I love, by the way. Keep it up.
cool.
But I'm like, interesting. The only way we could have even given this person this information, they said they don't even watch Behind 863 videos. The only way we could have given this person information is if it sounds like pretty much if it was uploaded to the YouTube channel Project 863 by itself. Like they also
Interesting.
said like
post.
community posts. They also talk in that where it's like, yeah, I can't even see community posts because they only look at iPad and on the TV, and both of those don't have
You
community
can look at
posts.
Spellbound on the
So-
TV.
No. I'm talking about for
YouTube.
YouTube community posts.
Oh, I see.
So that's the thing is like, there's some of those comments where it's like, I can understand like the most popular way everyone consumes their content is through YouTube, the YouTube videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's not a thing that makes sense to post to YouTube. So that's kind of why it was
Yeah.
communicated that way. And so, yeah, I just wanted to point out that like it is tricky. Like it is tricky because we know the easiest way to communicate something to you is through like that video, but also like that video is not going to get pushed to people because
Right.
YouTube doesn't want to push a video that does nothing like your other videos, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Also, I think Matt did a good job of communicating it through Spellbound Plus because everything that is relevant to that is in Spellbound Plus.
Yeah. My immediate thought on that kind of summary is like, the reason a Spellbound Plus update wasn't posted on our YouTube channel is because it had nothing to do with the YouTube channel.
Right.
You know, it was about changes happening to Spellbound Plus.
Right.
And I totally understand the sentiment of like, well, this information wasn't where like I would have just stumbled across it. But like, yeah, even as you were like listing the things of like, well, it wasn't here, it's like, yeah, like the Spellbound Plus is the place for company-wide updates, is the place for channel-wide updates. And I totally understand if you are on Spellbound Plus and you somehow missed it because their algorithm is just so messed up and the way that they sort things is weird. But that's why we have topics in an
Well, it is
announcement
pinned,
section.
and I think, you know, it's kind of everywhere on Spellbound now, just in terms of like people talking about it. So I understand, but I think that also, we have to like avoid posting that kind of stuff on Project 863, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, because it just has nothing to do with the story.
I mean, it breaks the spell for a lot of people because like,
Then you start talking about a company.
yeah,
It's just one of those things that the reason I wanted to bring it up too is I liked this comic because it wasn't hyper emotional.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, hey, like I struggle with communication, but I want people to kind of like, it's hard because it's hard for me to fully see your guys' the viewer side of it because we create it. But from our perspective, like we are communicating kind of everywhere. And that's where that was like an interesting thing that I wanted to point out is like, it's we can't communicate it to everyone all over the place. Like it's almost impossible, right?
Were the things that were communicated on Spellbound relevant to anybody on YouTube?
Yes.
Yes.
Only
Wait,
one
were-
thing
were they
was,
really?
behind 863.
Oh, yeah.
That was relevant to, and
So
so I can
maybe-
see that one. That was, I think, the most of a negative feedback responded
Yeah.
to was the behind 863 videos getting taken down, and them no longer getting any more behind 863.
well, they
videos.
said they don't watch Behind 863 though, right?
That person specifically. I'm just saying in general, in the Spellbound post, the only thing that was relevant
to
to outside of Spellbound itself, like the Spellbound Plus app, was behind 863. And so I figured like we could discuss, I think that I want to kind of give even more clarity on that, right?
Sure.
Because we can talk about the rest of the stuff in the Spellbound post when Matt's back. I don't like talking about other people's words. It's just like
Totally.
I
Sure.
can make something
Yeah.
up. I don't want to be the middleman. I think Matt would do a great job communicating it. And maybe we can even clip that and then post it onto like the Behind 863 YouTube, and maybe that's the only video. I don't know. We'll see. But I think for the Behind 863 stuff, it is tricky, right? And a lot of people are having like a negative response to like, oh my gosh, like paywalls everywhere. Oh, it's going behind a paywall. Oh my goodness, like everyone's like having this meltdown of like that Behind 863's new content is going to be posted to YouTube and they're not gonna be able to get it. I just put up 3 months worth of content, and so a lot of you guys anybody who's watching this is going to get it anyways. So by the way, thank you guys for supporting us. The main reason I'm mentioning this is like this can help because a lot of you guys communicate with the audience, right? And maybe there's new people to Spellbound Plus, like premium membership, that don't have a clue what's going on, right? So I kind of want to like give the understanding, the full spectrum understanding of what's going on again, or as clear as we can, so that you guys can help communicate. You guys can better understand as well. And if you are subscribing to Project 863 Plus, like on Spellbound Plus, like you now get like the kind of like the full wrap up of everything that's going on and what you're going to be getting to, right? So to touch on it really quickly is that, yeah, we put Behind 863 behind a paywall, right? It's on Spellbound Plus and it requires a membership to have. This is not out of malice. This is not out of us trying to harm the community. Obviously, we don't want to. But I feel like I have the need to like remind people that like we did just upload all of season 2 at once. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Has had a community post put about it. Was put on Reddit. The only place it wasn't posted was as a YouTube to YouTube itself, like as a video to YouTube itself. Sorry. So it's posted all over the place. You can watch 3 months worth of vlogs that we worked really hard on, right? All for there, ad free. I'm pretty sure too. You know, just chilling there, letting you guys watch through them. And everybody can, not even just you guys. anybody can go and find that stuff. So that's there. The reason why we are putting the future stuff behind the paywall is it's just flat out like it's invasive, you know? And I feel like it's tough because the vocal minority is speaking out on it, like as it usually does, right? Where they are reacting negatively to like us taking away Behind 863 from free because, oh, I can't pay for this. I can't do that. I'm like, I totally get that side of it. I remember when I was like, you know, like when I was like 16 and I couldn't pay for it. And I feel like that's the majority of what it is. Or like maybe like people are saying we're taking things way too fast, all this different stuff. I just want to remind you guys, like, we're doing this because like it doesn't make sense for us not to do it. And what I mean by that is to give clarity, Behind 863 isn't providing like us at Spellbound like this like crazy value like towards ourselves, right? We're doing it to produce content for the audience, to like repurpose content, right? To make it more of a community basis, to let you guys see more of what's going on. And if doing that creates a cost towards our own product that we're trying to make fantastic, it makes absolutely no sense.
True.
Right? And that's something that I haven't really seen a whole lot of people. No one's mentioned, actually. I think in the audience, it's hard to imagine that from like an audience perspective because you're like,
Right.
I was just given this thing for free for like 3 months straight that I really liked, you know. And now it's no longer free. That's not fair. And it's like it's absolutely fair.
Yeah.
Would you want to explain to them why that takes away from our main content?
Sure. Yeah, it takes away from our main content because it spoils things. It spoils things that have happened, things that are going on, and it spoils little things in little ways. And it's like a subconscious thing too. And we're not making this decision just based off of our own like desire. It makes no sense for us to. We would make more money like to be posting it on YouTube. Like so it makes no sense for us to just go against doing that, right? The main thing is it spoils it. Like, and we notice it within ourselves, right? Like you'd be watching Project 863, you get recommended to pop up, and then you have 3 Behind 863 videos spoiling something that's already happened previously.
Yeah.
And there's this kind of feeling that like it just, and I know what you guys are saying, but yeah, it's like it's coming from like older seasons. I screenshotted a comment too that I thought was a good thing to address too. Which is that like, oh, like why don't we just upload vlogs from older seasons like when it's the next season, you know, like 3-month-old vlogs like we were going to do, right? And the reason for that is it's not that what we're spoiling matters, right? It's not that. And that's something that we messed up. And so I wish we would have thought about this ahead of time, but there's no way to really know. Hindsight's 2020. It's the fact that you're spoiling anything breaks the spell, right?
Yeah.
And,
Totally.
And that's just because if you spoil anything, if you're saying, hey, this is how this happened, it instantly tells you, oh, it's not real.
Right.
Oh, what I'm watching isn't real.
Yeah.
You know? And,
I mean,
and it takes you out.
With what I've been doing, my new initiative, the TikTok channel, it's hard because I have kind of taken on the same mentality as season 0 and like whenever before we had announced that it was fiction, because that is what tends to grab new audiences. And so, you know, like people are really intrigued by it, and that's why they're going to our YouTube channel, because they're like, what is this? I'm so intrigued. I want to know more. And then, you know, if we're trying to bring in this new audience and then they're like they start from the beginning and then are pushed to Behind 863 video from season 2 or something, then it breaks the spell for them because they're like, oh, wait a minute, what? And then like it also spoils what happens later if they wanted to continue, and that could be potentially harmful. And so it's just, especially with trying to broaden our audience, I think is where it poses the largest issue.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, like we want you guys to watch it, but we don't want you to watch it at the detriment to our content that we want to make exceptional. That's the main reason why. And so that's why it's behind this paywall, right? Is not because we want to like suck up all your money. Like that's like not it at all. You could literally go right now, become a member of Project 863 Plus for 1 month, click every link that you could ever click, save those links, and you have access to all those videos. You know what I'm saying? So like you're not missing anything, right?
Yeah.
That's why I thought it was an interesting argument to like say like, yeah, like we'll just upload things a month later, like, or like if you can't afford it right now, like I get you. Like I absolutely know it and I know that feeling. Like wait a little bit. You'll get even more accumulated, and then you get to go through and watch all of them whenever you want, you know?
Yeah.
They're not going anywhere, they're not disappearing, they're gonna stay there. They're always gonna be there. Right.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of what I want to communicate too, is like there isn't an urgency to this. And so I get when things get emotional, you had kind of like an urgent reaction, like, oh no, like things are changing, this is crazy. Like, no, like it's just there's no urgency. Come watch the videos whenever you're able to. Like, and if you don't want to, like a lot of people are like, I don't even like Behind It's Extreme. Like, then you don't have to subscribe. I love you guys.
Then
but-
congratulations, nothing's wrong.
I was like, you don't have to subscribe. Everything's fine. But I saw like the vibe I was getting is most people are just like change all
Yeah.
at once, and I don't like that. And I read that in a lot of comments too, like even ones that were like rationally written, not super emotional. It's like, oh, this is just a lot of change happening at once.
Scary, naturally.
Yeah, they're like, I feel like
Yeah.
you guys should go into it a bit slower. It's like, yeah, we don't have the time to.
Yeah.
Well, and also like you said, it's like there's no, I don't know. It's like, yes, it's a lot of change at once, but I think it just feels that way when you're looking at it all written in a document, or
Yes.
or even listening to it all in a 20-minute long video, which is what it would be if we delivered it in that format. But when you really look at the changes on their own, like to me, and I don't want to speak for any member of the community, but just like to me, from my perspective, it's like actually not that much change that's like obviously like negative or anything. I understand like the putting it behind the paywall perspective on the surface can sometimes be like, oh man, but something that I think, you know, I've just had in my mindset from the beginning, and it's like, of course, a lot of community members don't have this because they don't work here, is like, I've always thought that the vlogs were going to be behind the paywall from the get-go because
weren't
it's a
Same.
premium perk. You know what I
Right.
mean? Yeah, they basically were they were doing like the double upload, right? Like there
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
some behind a paywall, some public.
Yeah, so all the vlogs have been behind the paywall though, right?
Except for all the vlogs. Well, except for one. One vlog itself wasn't. That was the wood smoked out the studio.
Oh yeah,
one.
and that was
Yeah.
to like kind of advertise
That was
it,
before
right?
we thought we even had to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we were just going to do early releases. To original
Right.
stuff, we were just doing early releases. Then we put half behind paywall, and then half were just season 1 videos, right?
Yeah.
But even then, that's the other thing too. Is like the season 1 videos were like spoiling things. We're feeling
Yeah.
spoilerific.
Right.
So like imagine if like season 2, which was like vlogging us shooting things and us doing things. It's like season 1, it's just us talking about it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Season 2 is us showing it. Like it was
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
going to get even more intense and more
Definitely.
difficult.
So it's one of those things where, yeah, it is like a lot of change, but I really just think a lot of the like nasty pushback just came from people like, you know, that just don't like change, and then it
Yeah.
just like all like word vomited. I think Spellbound also too, like, because the free tier with the free tier, it's so hard to moderate because again, the way that Mighty Networks like sorts things just doesn't make sense. So it's created a culture of I'm just going to post whatever I want. And so that's why in the free tier you see so many like, hi, how's it going? Hey, happy Tuesday. Like what
Yeah.
like stuff that like can be sweet, can be fun, whatever, but has nothing to do with the story. And it just it floods the free tier. It's so hard to like find any content there. And so I think that's created this culture of like
Twitter.
of
Yeah,
Twitter.
pretty
Of
much.
like,
Yeah, I
you
understand,
know,
like
you know
Twitter,
what?
actually, yeah.
I'm just throwing my paragraph of anger like into the free tier, and like that just like stacks up. And it's just kind of like, okay, like I can't like sort through any of this to find the like constructive feedback.
Right.
Right.
It's not
And-
functioning as it
And yeah,
should.
exactly. And I think that's a big thing that a lot of people don't understand about the decision to like remove the free tier as well, is the free tier has from day one prevented Spellbound Plus from ever functioning the way we wanted it to, because there's so much wonderful activity, and then there's also so much just like haze and just like random
Well, not
posts.
even just
To be-
useless, but also like really bad activity, which is
Well,
why
yeah.
we removed
Yeah,
a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Like, so it's and there's again, we didn't build it. Like I think a lot of people don't understand that too, because I see a lot of wonderful suggestions about like, well, why don't you guys just add this feature? Why don't you? We can't. It's not ours. And so
Yeah.
the only way we can actually remove a lot of the really bad behavior that we have to, and just, you know, figure out a way to surface content that we're interested in looking at, is by removing the free tier.
Right.
Right. And on one hand we have Reddit too, which I
Exactly.
think like the free tier on Spellbound kind of diluted both the point of having that, and then also diluted our Reddit feed.
Definitely.
And like just have like I think that would I think Reddit just naturally did what we needed
Exactly.
to do.
And
And
it
it's
has
free.
the tools that we
Yeah.
need to moderate. And that's
Exactly.
something
Yeah.
like, I mean, it's exactly what we need in terms of like, yeah, I mean, it's a lot easier to monitor. It like naturally filters out things that are bad.
Well, but also like with the upvote system, like we always,
Totally.
every time we would log into Reddit, like on that, like you could filter it by top, hot,
Yeah.
recent,
Yes.
whatever. And it was just like, whoa, look at all this amazing
Yeah,
stuff.
and with the stuff that's happening behind the scenes that, you know, on Spellbound that we aren't even really aware of until someone comes forward and tells us, it's like that becomes our responsibility because it's our platform.
Yeah.
And with Reddit, you know, that's been developed for years and years. Like they have lawyers, they have
Yeah.
all kinds of things that protect them against this kind
They
of
have
behavior.
censorship too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
exactly.
And we just don't have those tools. I mean, this is a very new app and it was built quickly and you know, we don't have a lot of the control over it. And so when serious stuff like that starts to happen and it becomes our responsibility, that is a big problem because we obviously never want to put anybody in that position to where they are exposed to those kinds of things. But it's just hard because it's not even on the surface sometimes. So how are we supposed to prevent it from happening?
Yeah, and I mean that's even like something, and I don't even think that this was a subject like of the post, but in the same theme of like Spellbound Plus happenings, even with like DMs, like that was something where behind the scenes in a lot of conversations we were like we know like a lot of people use DMs, but like there's no way for us to monitor what's happening there, and so like we gotta remove it, like
Yeah.
we gotta take it away because again, like this is our platform. If there's stuff happening that like isn't allowed on this platform, like we need to take
Right.
action.
Yeah. It's like, hey, we just built this house. Like, everyone come on in.
Yeah.
But then, like, we can't monitor every
Every
room.
conversation that's
Exactly.
happening.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, if anything bad happens in this room that is in our house, and we don't know about it, we're still very
still
liable.
responsible.
Exactly. And I think there was one user who had sent 100,000 DMs in 30 days. And at that point, it's just like,
impressive.
what the heck is going
Yeah,
on?
that's spam.
It's like, how? Yeah. I mean, yeah, it has
it's
to
like
be
we
spam,
gotta
right?
remove that person.
Yeah.
like
yeah, it's just like, it's scary to not know
What's
who
happening?
is who's on the platform and what they're doing. And I mean, we try to keep kids who are too young from being on the app just because of legal things,
But also for the kids too.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
we try and keep them. Yeah, it's one of
Yeah.
those things where it's like technically you do have to be 13 and up, but also like people lie about.
Oh yeah, I mean,
that
when I was
all
a
the
kid,
time.
I was on so many sites that I wasn't supposed to be on. You know,
Well,
like
even like YouTube, when you sign up, doesn't it make you say that you're like at least a certain age, or
Yeah.
you have to be a kid's account? Like,
Possibly,
you know,
yeah.
yeah, but I mean, it's unavoidable, and unfortunately, when there's a few bad eggs, it ruins it for everyone. Like we just can't continue to have that feature anymore if people are going to be using it that way because there's just no way for us to fix it. So
Yeah, and I think that's kind of it in a nutshell. Is like that's what it comes to. I think a lot of people are seeing it as like we understand why you're making these changes, but it's happening so fast. Like I get the whiplash. Like believe me, when you work in a small business in general, you're gonna get whiplash. Like things have to change. Like you have to change quickly. And so I just want you guys to know, like we're not changing like rapidly and urgently because it's out of fear or like because we hate what we're doing or because we're getting burnt out. It's not that. Like I like what we do. I feel like we like what we do. We come into work, we're happy. I'm happy. I enjoy what I'm doing. I don't want to speak for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident of
Yeah.
this, but
now
like,
everyone say you're happy.
we're not
super
moving.
happy. Yeah.
I'm not here captive. No, we're making good stuff. We're making awesome stuff. We enjoy what we're making, and we're seeing you guys enjoy it too. We're not making these changes to give people whiplash, but we want you to understand, like, we're making changes because they have to be made. Like, some of them legally, some of them for the sake of the content. I get some people are like, oh, well, I'm not getting the spell's not breaking for me. No, it is. You just don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, it's okay if you don't care about it, but like other people do. And no one's above like our goal. You know what I'm saying? Of like making this great story. So I appreciate you guys caring about us and about this stuff that we're going through too. And you, the audience that's watching this, you guys are our like dedicated audience that like really supports us, I'd say more directly and more communicatively than anybody. And so I appreciate you guys like standing there with us. And if you guys can help us by like communicating that with the audience, but also communicating to us, whether it's in the comments of this video, naturally on Reddit, all the different things. Like maybe you guys have concerns too. Like we can help clarify that. I don't want it to ever feel like we're perfectly communicating. We're doing everything right. Like we're making changes because we do things wrong, right? And because we didn't do things right the first time. But like that's life, and that's like creating a product.
Look at us now too. We're sitting at the round table discussing those things. So, like, also, we do care. We do care. So
we care, but we don't worry. And I think that's an important thing too. Is we can't be so worried about what everyone's concern is about what's right and what's wrong. All we can do is do what we know is right and like do the best thing and make the best content and focus, because care does not equal worry. And I don't want you guys to feel that way towards us. I feel like a lot of people are like worried about us. Like, no, it's okay to care about us. It's okay to care about the product too. But it's when it starts getting so negative and so like damning towards the content and so like, oh, like it's just tough, and I get it. Like it's something you care about, but like don't let your care like pollute it into worry. Like I feel like that's
some tea right there.
Yeah.
I appreciate your guys' concerns. We all do. Believe me. I'm glad people care about our content.
Yeah.
So it's really hard it's really hard to make something people like, So I'm glad we're doing it. But I just wanted to touch on that stuff specifically because I was reading through and noticing it, and I started noticing like people, like even people who are close might not even know like what's really happening or what's going on with it. And sometimes it's like, the people just like the majority of these new people who are on the free tier of like our Spellbound Plus like didn't even read the post. They just read the headlines. Behind 863 is no longer going to be on YouTube. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it.
So
loved it.
that's the biggest thing too, is just like I just continue to urge people in the community to like use the resources that are there. Like instead of posting a general question or whatever, like look through the announcements topic, look through the topics in the platform, like look through the article, like
Pinned posts.
like look at the pinned post, like just point people in the direction of information that is already there too. If you're seeing people ask all these questions, just like copy and paste the link to the articles where it's answered.
Yeah.
What tier is behind 863 behind? Just so, because I don't know, and I don't know if they
The videos and like the big content stuff is behind the highest tier.
Okay, so podcast and everything is behind the highest tier.
Podcast and everything's behind the highest tier. Naturally requires the most work, has the most expense towards it. Like that's why
the most time and effort.
Most time and effort goes into it. And we're in the process of trying to make all of that stuff better. The podcast, like I told you guys, I'm trying to, right now it's going into it and really just having a discussion, which I absolutely love too. But I want to come like kind of like create some topics and like things that we can kind of like go into with every episode, and then maybe have the audience kind of like present their own stuff. I like the talking about like comments, like speaking on comments, speaking on Reddit, like all that stuff. It's hard to talk about like theories and stuff because you two don't know what's happening and we don't want to spoil it.
Right.
But I think there's a lot we can do within this, and I kind of want to make the vlogs a bit more story based as well. I just got to figure out how to do it because right now they are kind of like daily vlogs. Like this is what we're doing today. This is what's happening, which I love as well, and I think the audience likes. But I feel like I could even make it better. And if you're paying for it, I want you to be proud of it. I want you to really like be like, I spent money that I feel like, and I feel like I got something that was worth it, right?
Yeah.
So just know like we're pushing for that. We want you guys to feel like this is worth it. And if you guys have been members, there's nothing changing for you, right? I think that was like the biggest post is that like if you were a member before, like exclusive or a premium member before, like you're grandfathered in, we appreciate you as well for being there always through all this stuff.
So how long are they premium members for then? Ever? Like if you were a premium member before you're grandfathered in terms of like, do you get a premium subscription forever?
Well,
until you cancel.
Until you cancel.
I
it.
see.
It's like the same rate.
Oh, I see. I gotcha.
You pay the same rate that you were paying.
Gotcha.
Like,
so
earlier.
it doesn't. Okay,
It's
so
not like you get it for free all of a sudden.
gotcha. But you get the like if you're paying $4.99, you still get the $9.99 stuff.
but for the price of $4.99.
Nice.
Yeah.
What a deal!
What a deal,
snag.
folks!
So yeah, we appreciate it, and like I said, you guys are the community that is the closest to us, that's communicating the most, and you're investing in us too. Like, so I want you guys to feel like you guys can comment down below, and I don't want you guys to think that anything you feel is wrong. Like I want you to tell us, because that you might be very right on a lot of different things that we could be doing better, that we can improve from our end of it, right? Maybe we could communicate better. Maybe there's a better way to communicate. Maybe there's a better place to put things. I feel like we're doing that pretty well, but I also not a viewer. I'm someone who's putting out the information, not consuming it, right? Two different roles. So yeah, please keep slinging that over my way. I was going to show fan art that I was really proud of, but we can do that next time.
No.
We're already out of time.
We should get a screen for that somewhere.
We should. I would. Well,
Or a laptop or something.
Maybe I'll get my iPad in and I can show it.
That'd be great.
Because
Yeah.
then I'm always gonna have like Bolette like pop it up for the viewers, you know. Maybe she goes to the wide, pops it up. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
But for us, so that way I'm not like passing around my phone. I think that'd probably be a little easier too.
Sure.
So yeah, let us know what else you guys want us to talk about in the comments down below. That would be fantastic. We're open. We're listening. You guys maybe have things you want us to discuss. We would like to talk about it. Thank you. Do you guys have anything you would like to say?
I think it'd be really fun to do a theory. I know you were like, it might be hard to talk about theories with like Sam and Bailey because they don't know things and you guys know things. I think that could actually be really fun to just be like, okay, Sam and Bailey bring their theories to the podcast about like X, Y, or Z, and like Bailey and I are basically just like talking about the theories. Like it could almost be a fun like challenge almost.
Yeah.
Like for you guys to like not spoil anything, but like for us to just like act as fans,
Yeah, and
almost
also
because
like
we
react
are.
to theories, kind of like
Yeah.
exactly, like
I would
theories
have
that are out there.
myself and Woods probably sit out and let you two just go off, honestly.
Sure.
Because
Yeah,
Woods
that
and
could
I,
be fun.
if I heard something, I'd probably make a face or
Yeah.
something, you know?
Oh,
So like,
Tanner.
I'd probably let us sit out and you two just be like, all right.
Bailey and Sam take over.
It's the
Yeah.
Theorized podcast, and we're going to start talking about theories of what's
I
going
think
on.
that'd be
Yeah.
so much fun.
I think that'd be a blast to
agree.
watch, too. So maybe we do that. But hey, thanks for that, Samantha. If you guys have any really good ideas like that, let me know, because then we can make that happen. I also want to do a writing podcast where like Matt and Chanel just sit down together and like, talk about
Yeah.
how they write and stuff, too.
Love
we
that.
can do these like
I
themes.
won't listen to that one.
Oh, yeah, you're not
yeah.
allowed. Well, you could, but we don't have to talk about like what we're writing, you know what I'm saying?
Ah,
With how they've written.
I'll skip it. Just in case.
I
That's how
appreciate
committed
that.
I am to making authentic content for you all. I'm gonna leave. This is over, right?
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.